2020 Kia Soul Car Review. If you picture rhythmic, life-size anthropomorphic hamsters, it truly is. Let's hope as a result of Kia's catchy marketing effort to the Soul subcompact crossover. We won't judge you whether or not this isn't. Perhaps the Soul is familiar because one recently whisked from a bar after being summoned with a ride-hailing app. Or maybe you or somebody owns one. Kia has sold over 1 million on the toaster-shaped things since 2009. Instantly recognizable and increasingly ubiquitous, the Kia Soul is virtually iconic. Kia thinks it can be iconic, hence why its 2020 redesign is really as careful an evolution as, say, the modern Porsche 911s. The Kia continues to be affordable. Prices start at $18,485, as well as seating remains tall and chair-like, just as an SUV. The slab-sided, boxy profile and snub nose are unmistakable, and a few additional funkiness is provided by taillights that now practically encircle the trunk window and also a scowling face that resembles a Star Wars stormtrooper helmet. Solidly, and similarly, packaged. The Soul is often a Time Car and Driver 10 Best Trucks and SUVs award winner, the maximum amount of for its intelligent price as the clever interior packaging. There remain gobs of head and legroom front and back, however the new model's 1.2-inch longer wheelbase and other 2.2 of length neglect to translate into a lot more usable space. Rear legroom will be down 0.3 inch, while front legroom expires just 0.2 inch. Still, the back seat specifically is spacious and comfy, having a pleasantly angled seatback. Folding those back seats expands cargo capacity from 24 cubic feet exactly like before to 62 cubic feet, somewhat more than before. The door is also opened somewhat wider, and the back hatch opening is slightly bigger. Like many similarly priced cars, the Soul uses hard plastics throughout its interior, although pricier designs include more soft-touch bits. Assembly is impeccable, however, and also the overall style feels more aspirational than before. Kia keeps a level of quirkiness inside, upgrading that old model's light-up door speakers, which could pulse to your beat of music, for available LED backlit panels mounted higher about the front doors that will put around the same show, however are now visible during the day. An inductive phone charger is optional. It sits within a useful cubby ahead on the shift lever, above a separate bin with a pair of 12-volt outlets and USB ports live, so you're able to charge 2 devices simultaneously. A 7.0-inch color touchscreen is standard, while a different, 10.3-inch wide screen unit is obtainable. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are included on both, plus the system's menu structures are simple to navigate. And Kia finally has added some active safety features to your Soul's option sheet. Still defiantly uncrossover-like. The Soul still isn't provided by all-wheel drive, but for no reason view that like a reason to revoke its subcompact crossover card, whether or not nearly every competitor has the option. We have, in the end, named it our 10 best pick as segment before. Most customers within this class are trying to find a commanding driving position, not Jeep-like abilities for clambering over rocks. We drove the Soul see how to avoid snow, and yes, it survived, will work just fine. Besides, the Kia incorporates a decidedly uncar-like 6.7 inches of ground clearance, up from 5.9 inches this past year. Kia's only other concession, which the Soul perhaps isn't SUV-ish enough for some, is really a newsline trim. Functionally the same as the base LX, S, or X trims, this line gets tougher-looking bumpers and plastic fender flares. The new GT line trim sits opposite this line and essentially replaces this past year's turbo model, wearing a far more street-friendly look that has a center exit exhaust, monochromatic bodywork, along with a sportier suspension tune. Every Soul comes standard by having an Atkinson cycle 2.0-liter inline 4, which replaces both not too long ago's weak entry-level 1.6-liter and mid-level 2.0-liter engines. Its 147 horsepower and 132 lb-ft of torque land basically between the outputs of such two previous engines, while its smoothness and refinement are far better than both. In most Souls, the 2.0-liter will pair that has a new continuously variable automatic transmission CVT, which supplants a year ago's 6-speed automatic. A 6-speed manual transmission, which we were not able to sample, is offered around the base model. Like many new-age CVTs, Kia's features a direct feel and can even fake fixed gear ratios to counteract the engine from revving much out of sync while using car's acceleration, as less adroit CVTs do. Use fewer than half throttle and you will probably barely notice it working, the transmission smoothly changing ratios since the car build speed. The previous generation Soul Turbo's 201 horsepower turbocharged 1.6-liter 4-cylinder and 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission survive as an option within the GT line cars. Though quicker than the bottom engine, the setup suffers exactly the same oddly timed gear changes, abrupt low-speed response, and surging power delivery as before. There are steering wheel-mounted shift paddles for manual gear selection, however they don't add much refinement. Straight-line speed aside, there is very little difference in athleticism on the list of new Soul's trim levels. The GT line rides slightly firmer, yet every Soul we drove exhibited good body control, improved ride quality, and isolation from wind and road noise. The numb and strongly boosted steering is disappointing only from the range-topping turbocharged GT line model, which, at $28,485, is priced awfully in close proximity to a Volkswagen GTI despite being not nearly as fun drive an automobile. While the Soul isn't exactly sporty, Kia's latest box is stylish and practical and will please, whether you may need affordable wheels or become chauffeured in the spine seat after the night out partying as an anthropomorphic hamster.